If you're ready to see what Scorpio season has in store for you, stick around for this season's Tarotscope reading. Hello, if you haven't met me yet, I'm Leesa. Welcome back to my channel. I'm a certified tarot consultant whose goal is to help you use the power of the tarot to help make your life amazing. And on this channel, I do pick a card readings and Tarotscope readings like this one, pretty much tarot related videos across the board. So if you are new here, feel free to hit that subscribe button. Would love to have you stick around for the monthly readings as well as next month's Tarotscope readings. So if you found this Tarotscope reading, welcome. This reading is definitely meant for you, and I'm so glad to have you here. So there are two parts to this particular video. In the first part, we're going to just do a brief rundown of what we can expect to see during Scorpio season, which runs from about October 23rd to about November 21st of every year. And then we're going to pull a card for each zodiac sign. And then after that, we'll go ahead and take a look at an oracle card for everyone at the end of the video. So that will be there. But let's just go ahead and jump into it. Let's get started. And let's just start discussing a little bit about what we can expect from Scorpio season. And by the way, guys, I am going to be using the Starman Tarot deck today. Absolutely gorgeous deck. It just kind of screamed Scorpio energy at me when I was looking for decks. If you've never seen it before, it's really quite a remarkable deck, beautiful art. I did a walkthrough on it, so I'll include the information on that so you can kind of jump over to that when you're done. So while I'm shuffling, let's just real quickly talk about the energies we will all likely run across during the season of Scorpio. And Scorpio is such an interesting sign, guys, because it's ruled by the planet Mars, which is really intense, and that's where you get a lot of that Scorpio intensity. But it's also a fixed water sign. So water is a lot about emotions, and fixed water can be things like a well, right? Just deep, deep water. It can be an ice cube. If you think about water that way, it's fixed, or a river is fixed. So this idea of being a fixed river, same course, likes to dive deep, really penetrating mind. So if you have Scorpio really prominent in your birth chart, or if you are a Scorpio, you might see that you like to really dive deep into things. You have a strong fascination with, mysterious things, and you can be really, really passionate. And like I said, that kind of goes back to that Mars piece. So sometimes people ask, which signs should I follow for this? Of course, if you have your birth chart, you should know what your birth sign is. Your sun sign. That is basically your birthday, and the sign that most people think about. So, where was the sun on the day you were born? But I would also go ahead and follow your moon sign and your rising sign. Those are going to give you quite a bit of information as well. And I'm getting ready to put together just a quick video on that to help give you a bit more information if that's something that you need to see. So keep an eye out for that. So the deck is ready. I'm going to start with Aries. So what you will do now, if this is new to you, is you are going to jump along the video, the chapters of the video. I'll put the timestamps below. Go to your 3 different signs that you want to focus on. And then when you're done with that, we're going to go ahead and take a look at one more pull. So let's get started with Aries. Everyone else, go ahead to where you need to be. Okay, so Aries, also ruled by Mars, but of course, so you are in a time period where the sign is also ruled by your ruling planet. So this should be a fairly interesting time period for you. But I'm seeing the King of Swords reversed. So taking a look at the energies kind of coming your direction during this time period, King of Swords reversed, guys, for me, it deals a lot with the ideas of maybe confusion or a lot of kind of mental exhaustion or mental feeling as though maybe you don't have everything, the way that it should be or where it should be. I would definitely watch out for that and try to find ways where you can mentally get yourself into a better state. Because to me, the King of Swords, when he's upright, is really good at having an understanding of how to get from point A to point B. As a king, he feels really confident in his abilities and what he can do. When it's flipped over, I'm seeing some of that sort of potential kind of missteps, especially with sort of mental ideas or anything dealing with stuff going on in the mind. So take some time this season, the Scorpio season, to really be aware that that could be coming your way and be prepared to deal with that. Okay, moving on to Taurus. Taurus, you are at a position actually where the sun is opposite of your sign of Taurus in the sky. So that could mean a real push-pull between the Scorpio energy and what you have going on in your life, depending on if that's your sun, moon, or ascendant. So keep that in mind. And we have the Hanged Man here. So I'm seeing a lot of delays for you. A lot of delays, potentially some missed opportunities. And, if you are, I'm actually a sun sign Taurus. My birthday is in the beginning part of May. And while I love this time of year, I think there is definitely some clash with the energies of this season and what I see with my personal sun sign. So for some of you, this might be a good time to kind of take a rest or assess and see what's available to you. But there could be some delays with some major projects or with some relationships. It's going to depend on what sign, sun, moon, or ascendant. But keep that in mind. Think about how can you maybe move things along as needed. All right, Gemini. Gemini, big changes for you. Big changes for you during Scorpio season. The Tower is a really exciting card, and I say exciting in that there's a lot of stuff going on. The Tower card with change generally is going to be something that's more external than internal. Now, of course, if this is your moon sign, then I would say this is definitely going to be something that's a little bit more likely internal. But the Tower oftentimes deals with paradigms or the way that we see things or the way that the world is presented to us, how we, kind of the framework that we put ourselves in or boxes we put ourselves in. So the Tower oftentimes can be crumbling those types of things, or it could be other structures like work or a job or something at home. But it is a big change, and it is time to kind of bring something down and clear the way to plant or lay the foundations for something else. So if you were looking to make a big change, this could be a great time for you to do so. Okay, moving on to the sign of Cancer. All right, Cancer, also a water sign. So let's see what this is looking like for you. All right, we have the Prince of Wands. And Cancer, your ability to kind of fare well throughout Scorpio season is better than many because of the fact that it's also a water sign. But there are some things that are going to be a little bit different, of course. But definitely tune into your emotions. I'm seeing here with this Prince of Wands, but with it being reversed, I'm seeing for you, and I'm sorry, I have a couple of things. For one of you, or a few of you at least, I'm seeing this idea of kind of a non-starter. So something that you have sort of moving that you were expecting was going to happen is just not going to happen. So for some of you, I see a project that's just sort of slipping away or will be delayed. But for many of you, I think it's having to find your passion again, needing to reach out and find or dig deep within you and find that thing that's going to be passionate for you. Because this season, it looks as though that could be something that may pull down on you a bit, this idea of not finding that or losing a passion inside of you. So depending on if this is your sun, moon, or ascendant, that's going to indicate a little bit about how that's going to impact you. But definitely keep that in mind. What can you do to kind of reignite that? Okay, Leos, whether this is your sun, moon, or ascendant, the sun right now is square to the sign of Leo in the sky. So depending on which sign you have here, which planet you have here, if it's your ascendant, it's going to impact you a little bit, but oftentimes squares in astrology can be a little bit more difficult. So you might find that this may be every year a little bit more difficult time for you, but let's see what we have. We have justice reversed. Justice reversed. When I see justice reversed, guys, there's two things that really come to mind. The first one is that, you may end up coming out on the losing end of something that you were really hoping was going to come through for you. And where that is in your life, of course, is going to depend an awful lot on what sign is sitting here in the sign of Leo for you, if it's your sun, moon, or ascendant. But it could be something where you're coming out on the losing end, which of course is really unfortunate. The other piece that could be here, sometimes when I see justice reversed, it has to do with sort of you making your bed and then having to lie in it. And sometimes the things that we do in the past aren't necessarily the best things for our future. And so I see it a bit as a warning. So this season, just be really aware of what you're doing and how that's going to impact you in the future, because you want to make sure that you're laying out the best possible future for yourself and don't sabotage yourself down the line. So Leo, that's what I'm seeing for you. Virgo, let's take a look. What do we have for you? King of Wands reversed. I'm seeing a few reverse cards here. So this could be a bit of a trying time for many people this Scorpio season. So King of Wands reversed. And Virgo, I know for you, being out of control in any area of your life can oftentimes be really trying for you. You like to know where things are and what things are doing and have a plan. And with the King of Wands reversed, I'm seeing some chaos here. I'm seeing you feeling as though maybe you're a bit out of control, or perhaps even for some of you needing to relinquish control and release that just a little bit. So some of you may actually be in a position where you need to let go and just chill out. And that's going to kind of depend on what sign, sun, moon, or ascendant is sitting here. But King of Wands reversed can be pretty difficult for a Virgo, because Virgos, like I said, oftentimes are looking to, keep things fairly neat and orderly. And that is definitely something that speaks to a bit more of chaotic energy. So how can you work with that or kind of mitigate that moving into the month? Okay, moving on to Libra. Libra, we have the Two of Cups, but reversed for you. And this is really interesting because Librans oftentimes are really looking towards working together in harmony. But when I see the Two of Cups reversed, I'm seeing a separation or a disconnection. And so what that tells me here is that you will need to either move away from someone or something in an emotional manner, or there is an opportunity for you here to be able to make a break during Scorpio season that's going to be really beneficial for you. So if you've been thinking about maybe stepping away from something or stepping back, this is going to be a really great time for you to do that. And of course, try to figure out, how this will impact you based on whether this is your sun or your moon or your rising sign. But I would definitely look for opportunities to make a break or to step away, or just be aware that there might be a time where there is a little bit of struggle when it comes to relationships or connections in some way or another. Okay, moving on to Scorpio. So if this is your sun sign, happy birthday. But Scorpios, we have the Seven of Wands. So a very fiery card for Scorpio season. And it's also a very intense card. And you can see that this person is kind of standing on one foot and they have all these wands kind of coming at them. So a couple of things here, a few things sort of coming through and things to keep in mind when it comes to this particular card for you. So this Scorpio season, and guys, you know, I know Scorpio is very intense energy, very deep, deep feeling energy. And one of the things I'm seeing here for you is this concept of kind of keeping your balance and being aware of what is coming towards you in terms of opportunities, what types of things need to be handled by you, what types of things need to be sort of pushed aside and ignored. This is a time for you that could be very, very busy, and some of the things coming your way might actually be distractions more than something that's going to be really important for you. But I would look for a really busy time, but I would focus on that idea of keeping your balance and keeping your footing. And, you know, if this is your sun sign, then focus on keeping your footing and your balance in regards to your goals and those things that make you tick. If this is your ascendant, then think about kind of how you're interacting with those people around you and sort of your public face. How can you keep your balance and hold your footing that way? Moon sign, think about how you are kind of digesting things as it's coming through emotionally, and how can you make sure you're keeping your footing there. But that's what I would look for you. All right, Sagittarius. Okay, Sagittarius, we have the Seven of Pentacles, and just want to kind of take a look at this card upright first. I love the imagery in this particular deck. When I see the Seven of Pentacles, I'm oftentimes seeing that concept and that idea of a harvest, but with it being reversed, and I've sort of got this feeling from a few different signs here, I'm seeing a bit of a delay in something that maybe you were expecting to harvest or that you thought was going to come through for you. I also am getting an idea here for some of you that it might be time actually to look at what's around you and weed out those things that no longer serve you. And in fact, Scorpio season is a great time for that, because it is that time of year where things are beginning to die in the world around us. If you live in the northern hemisphere, you know, we're heading, you know, into the winter time, and there is that concept of kind of shedding things that are beginning to pass away. So I would say for some of you, this could be a bit of a delay. For others of you, it's a sign and a symbol for you to start shedding things or weed out things that are no longer serving you. Okay, Capricorn. All right, Capricorn. Capricorn, we have the Five of Cups, and what an interesting visual for this particular card. In Capricorn, I know, you know, depending on if this is your, you know, sun sign, moon sign, rising sign, you know, Capricorn generally has, you know, you guys are very earthy. It's a very earthy energy, right? And you are looking at ways to make things better and ways to advance, but usually in a very practical way. And the Five of Cups card can be really emotionally exhausting and sometimes difficult. So during this Scorpio season, the energies coming your way look like it could definitely take a toll on you in an emotional manner. You can see some of these cups are flipped over, some of them are upright. This is just a wildly chaotic card in regards to the emotions and regards to some of those things that are going to be hitting you kind of in the heart space. So I would definitely keep an eye out for that, watch out for that, find a way for you to mitigate some of that. And Capricorns, I know that it's definitely within your ability to kind of plan for things. So keep an eye out for this. Think, how can you sort of get around this as it's coming at you, but be ready to take that that energy when it comes your way, because it's definitely going to be doing so, and just be ready to sort of move with that and then move past it. All right, moving to Aquarius. Now, Aquarius, the sun right now is sitting square with Aquarius. So the sun is Scorpio sitting square with Aquarius. What that means in astrology, a square can be oftentimes a little bit more difficult. So this, you could find year after year that this may not be the easiest time for you. And I have the Nine of Wands. Okay, the Nine of Wands here. Nine of Wands, guys, is a card when we look at the wands and we look at, the number 9, we're looking at sort of the end of a journey here, and especially an end of a project or an end of something that you've been really passionate about, towards the end, not completely at the end. And when I see the 9 of Wands, oftentimes, guys, what I'm seeing is this idea of having something or working towards something and being at a point where you can look back and say, hey, look at everything that I have in front of me. Look at everything that I've done. And you can feel really good about those things, which is great. But at the same time, you are in a situation where you have needing to protect or hold on to all the things that you do have. So some of you might actually be, I'm getting a really strong protective vibe. Some of you might be in protective mode this season. So depending on whether or not, you're protecting, your internal feelings and thoughts and emotions, if this is your moon sign, maybe you're protecting others because maybe this is your rising sign and it has a lot to do with how you interact with other people. Or maybe it has to do more with protecting yourself and protecting your own goals and dreams and kind of those things that you feel are important. But I'm getting a strong protective vibe from this card for you this month. So keep that in mind. Kind of look out for, what that is. Maybe it's one specific thing, or it could be just across the board. Okay, and moving on to Pisces then. Pisces, 10 of Pentacles, but reversed. Okay, and let me kind of turn this around just so you can sort of see the visuals. And then we'll go ahead and flip that. So guys, when we look at the 10 of Pentacles, traditionally we're talking about a really stable and long time kind of running situation. With it being flipped on its head, I'm seeing the breakdown of something that's been fairly foundational for you. And oftentimes this deals with things like community or home or work or, something along those lines, dealing a lot with structures, societal structures. And so I'm seeing something kind of breaking away or breaking down in regards to that for you this month. Now, take a look on whether or not this is your rising sign, your sun sign, your moon sign, because that may give you a clue as to where this is going to come in. When something starts breaking down, when something starts sloughing off, so to speak, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's a bad thing. Sometimes it's very, very needed, right? So it could be something that's really, really needed. But I would take a look at that, be prepared for that, be ready to objectively look at it. This is also a very rational card. And Pisces, I know oftentimes, Pisces will never be accused of being overly rational, right? You guys have a lot of emotions and a lot of imagination. This card, I think, is telling you, hey, be ready for things to kind of break down, begin to compost and move away. Be prepared to look at that with a really rational point of view. Okay, so now that we've looked at all of the signs, in just a quick second, I'm going to go ahead and move that aside, and we're going to look at our final card. And so I would just skip and move ahead to that at the end of the video. Okay, so on to the second part of the reading. And no matter what your sign is or what signs you're following, this is where you can get a little bit of extra clarity about what to expect and a message on how to handle and work through Scorpio season. So your intuition is going to definitely play in here. So while I am shuffling and getting our final card, just take a quick minute to get into a bit more of a fuzzy headspace. And by the way, guys, if you enjoyed this, please give me a thumbs up. It definitely helps the channel. And let me know what sign you are. What have what's your sun sign? If you know your moon and your rising, let me know that as well. I'd love to know who is watching that, watching these videos. And I'll always love to find out people that have similar signs to me. I think that's always fun. So let's see here. Okay. So hopefully you've taken just a quick second to tune in. And what I want you to do is just take a look at these three cards. And I just want you to breathe in and out and choose one of these three. And this is going to be affected by that choice. So just a quick breath in and out. And make your choice. Okay. So if you chose this one, then this card is focusing on your heart. This is focusing on your spirit or your head. So this card is going to be a message for your heart, spirit, or head, depending on which one you chose. And we actually have Wolf Spirit. Turn knowledge into wisdom. So based on one of these three cards, turn whatever knowledge you have. What do you know? How can you take that, internalize that, and make that something that is going to work for you better? And so guys, that's it. That's what I have for us. I hope you have a fantastic Scorpio season. Thanks again for hanging out with me, and I will see you next time.